Hey guys, welcome back to Vampyr. I'm Ciarasteina, and I just logged back in. Okay, so we haven't moved anywhere. So let's see. I do like that teleporting thing. It's a little like, ugh, the first few times that it happened. Didn't used to get motion sickness, but I don't know, lately I have been. Stable. Check out our vampire senses. Okay, so that's a bad guy. Another bad guy. Resistances, was it? So he's resistant to everything? Or is like the color, like he's most resistant to gunfire, sort of resistant to sword play, and not resistant to the other two. And he's most resistant to gunfire. That's what I'm guessing. I should really like look up what all these are, but meh. Oh, there's another one. He's not resistant to anything, but he's level 4. It shouldn't really affect me that much. Can I creep? No, I cannot creep.
Over there! Doesn't like fire, does it?
Come on. Drain your blood. There we go. Even though I don't really need to, it really weakens him. I wonder if it's... Oh. Great. Come here. Ooh, bullets.
Ammunition crate. Good. I may need a lot of bullets.
Anyway,
I feel
I
like
don't
I'm
know
back on the front line again.
if it's even capable of dropping anything, but I don't think so. But,
All the more reason to shut it, Mr. Billy.
this kind of reminds me of, oh, it's the dude over there. But it kind of reminds me of, Arkham Asylum. When are you gonna get some clothes, dude? I'm sure the bullet wound to the heart is kind of like easy red flag for everybody. Oh, did he drop anything? Yes, he did. Ah. For being professional vampire hunters, they don't have a lot of money. Enemy card. Press V to spot enemies around and display their enemy cards. Okay, there it goes. Perfect. That's exactly what I was thinking. Blood and shadow. How do I use that blood ability I have? Or is that shadow ability? Is it 1? No. Oh yeah, it is. So 1. How do I do it?
Bloody leech!
Ooh, he like got wrecked.
Best run along home, sir.
Okay. Ah. So he's resistant to gunfire.
That's this nest of them cleaned out.
T. What does T do? G is hide. No, wrong hide.
I like their screams when you.
How do you unhide it now? Okay. We'll just pretend that didn't happen.
We won't see any of these bastards back
Except
here
I'm gonna
again.
have to drink some blood. Is there anything to loot up here? Oh, hi there. Oops, I killed him before I wanted to. Aluminium powder. I'm playing a British game, I might as well speak it in a British accent. Use Lupara. So, ooh, that does a lot more damage though. Short range versus long range, or regular range I should say. But does a lot more damage. That does stun.
We won't see any of these bastards back here again.
How do I attack from up here? Attack.
Watch out for them teeth!
Watch out for them teeth. It's like, yeah, he's dead. Wow, he really gosh.
Fuck is fast!
Okay. Yoink, I guess. Well, it filled up my blood meter. Why is it sometimes I walk and sometimes I don't? More bullets. Like, sometimes I walk and then sometimes I, like, do a slow walk. Or I guess I jog and do a slow walk. New practices, new tactics. I know that some of our companions consider that the best advantage we have in our fight against leeches is that they don't go out during the day. Thus, we can hunt them down when they hide, powerless in their sleep. This is a rookie mistake. First, because vampires are clever and they have countless ruses and tricks to avoid being spotted in their den. Second, because they deploy many deadly traps to kill any intruders in what they consider their most precious sanctuary. It would cost us too much men and too much time to explore and eradicate vampires in their hideouts. The best tactic is to follow and destroy them when they really are vulnerable, when they hunt at night. It is much easier to attack them than for can easily be spotted. That's why the Guard of Priwen must evolve and deploy new tactics to hunt leeches, small and mobile patrols. Why did I say forces? Tactics based on technological advantages, modern communications. We can learn many things from the war in France, new strategy, new equipment, and new weaponry. Grenades, white phosphorus, ultraviolet light. Well, did they even know about ultraviolet light back then? I'm sure they probably did. Bulletproof vests and a flamethrower. It is time for the Guard to embrace the 20th century. From A New War by Jeffrey McCullum. I want to meet this guy. I'm sure I will, and I'll probably kill him. Really? I can run over things and they'll explode? Okay, that's good to know. So there's no jumping per se, but I can, like, teleport. Gotcha. Oh, lots of blood. See how slow I'm walking this way? Rats are often located near hideouts. Using Senses V will help you locate them more easily. I'm guessing that's a hideout up there. How did I miss that guy? Oh, is he around the corner here?
Over there! Burn it!
Yep, you're dead. Okay. See how slow I'm walking? And this is not intentional. Common handle part +6. I wonder if I can upgrade my gun now. Nope. I still need springs and trigger parts. How to upgrade this? Same thing. So see, I need that treatment for the one dude. And I have nothing. Is there a max weight or a carry weight? Have I leveled? Defensive level 4 required. I love how the British spell defenseless. It's like literally they have no fence. Level 5. It does eat up experience doing this, so I probably won't. Ultimate. Rage Abyss Blood Cauldron. Ooh, hard biting and fast regen. Ooh. Kinda tempted to go in for the hard biting. Let's hold off on this until we get some more XP.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah, shut up, you're a vampire. You'll eat anything with blood. I saw there's blood over there. I want to get over there. How do I get over there? I feel like, yeah, this
It's
is
locked,
locked,
all right.
but I can't teleport over there. I can only teleport on top of things or below things. Because there's blood over there, and I want to go over there. Oh, that's a lot of blood.
Fresh blood. The whole building reeks of it. The scent is so strong it makes me dizzy.
This guy's awfully accepting of his fate. Oh, there's William Bishop.
As one, we shall overcome this. We've done it before.
No. I had a drink outside tonight already and it did not quench my thirst. I must have more.
It's like, take this. Okay. Used scythe. equip a two-handed and press blank to the scythe, for instance, can be used to parry an incoming attack and inflict heavy stun damage if timed correctly.
William, please stop.
Shall I? 99 damage, 45 damage. It doesn't give me any stun, and I think I need stun in order to bleed them. Oh, I can actually upgrade this right now. Which is a good point. I didn't see if I could upgrade my weapons.
You're my last and dearest friend.
I can. I can upgrade that now. Shoot. Do I want to go upgrade that before I get into this fight? It was right here. Just gonna do that real quick. Upgrade that. However, I can upgrade this. Oh, and I can upgrade it again. Enhanced damage or enhanced handling. Oh. I'll just go for stamina, or for damage, I think. I don't know if I'm going to use this that much just because I like having the stamina, or not stamina, the ability to stun. These are the only treatments I have, and I have no ingredients to actually use it, so. How do I use a gun? T or G? How do I use a gun? I'll have to look that up. So I'm guessing now's gonna be a good time to... Oh, there he is. Oh, unknown. But he's talking to someone else. Oh, there's so much blood here.
I promise. Dearest friend, you're my last and dearest friend.
Alright.
This place reeks of bloodshed.
Alright. Bring it on. Serious
This
screams of boss
creature
fight.
is bedeviled.
Let go of me.
I must put it down.
I want loot from you. Why aren't you looting?
William, please stop.
He's dead. He's not gonna do it anymore. I, on the other hand, am more interested in loot than talking to you right now.
Let me go.
It's a father.
William was an honorable man. I could have saved him.
No, you couldn't.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
I knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred spirit.
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must
shit.
return to my flock. They'll stray without me.
Why, thank
Remember,
you.
certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Skulls?
Who are you? What do you mean by scowl?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait,
Her voice is familiar.
you are the woman from the bar. Are you like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
Okay.
By George and the Saints, you've solved the mystery of these terrible murders.
Perfect timing, Swansea.
Patience, good fellows, I've come to offer help. Just give me a moment to secure my boat. We can leave this awful place.
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed this drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me.
Okay.
This poor creature can't be my mate. Could it be some subspecies of vampire? I must find a place to analyze the blood.
That's all I needed, really, was just a sample of his blood. Oh. I love how wooden crates just kind of crumble as I walk over them. Okay. Guess we're done. At dawn, we row. Even though it's not quite done yet, and we're using steam motor, I'm guessing. Yeah, steam. Was he bitten?
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... Who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy.
Talk about a lady behind her.
Were London as peaceful as she
Sure.
appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea.
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Yes, it's marvelous.
Have
that
we
he's not a
met?
Vampire.
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word again. From a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
And for that, you are right.
Okay, why aren't we going further?
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring
If
some
I'm
clean
working
clothes.
at night, how am I supposed to, run around killing things at night?
What do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Is Pembroke Hospital a real hospital? Look that up.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Wink, wink.
Oh, and Dorothy,
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served Corn
There's
Country
that outfit.
and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm
He just
coming.
happened to have a coat that was perfectly fitted for him. And a whole suit, apparently. Gotcha. I've accepted Dr. Swansea's help. I will work at the Pembroke Hospital. I have no choice. The man knows about my condition and what I have become, a vampire. I can't believe this. I do not know anything about this secluded medical facility. Everybody here will take me for what I am not anymore. Jonathan E. Reed, the famous surgeon. I must lie to them all, to the patients, to the staff. This is my new home, where I will hide from all who are after me, where I will hide from everyone until I get a better understanding of what is going on. Okay. You kidding?
Come on, you bastard! You can do better than that! Nah! It's my turn!
Run. Oh, he's stabbing the shit out of him.
Rotten oppressive. Each heart contains the seed of life. Drink at this river. Try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
All right, sorry. I am in pain here. Me guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Blood quality indicates how much XP you will obtain from a particular citizen. The higher the blood quality, the more XP you will get. So he's not healthy, he's bleeding out. This is mesmerize. It doesn't allow me to do anything.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
Well, that's not what I wanted to do. How do I stop? Because I don't want to do that. I mean, and obviously it's like the tutorial, it's telling me how to do it, but maybe I can release him afterwards. There we go, release. Embracing Clay will provide a massive XP boost, but be aware there will be consequences. Learning more about citizens and collecting their hints will increase the experience gained. See, that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to talk to him, and I apparently...
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
Whoa, I feel giddy.
Can I talk to you? No.
What? What happened? Did I black out?
Guess you can't talk to him. I was hoping to like get more. I like knowledgeable games, so I was hoping to get more knowledge out of him, but alas, was not meant to be.
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go, but no famished hunter can run for long.
Yeah. I should probably just go to the hospital. Why have I got... Oh, these... Interesting how these just show up. I don't remember clicking on them. Influenza, frequently complicated with pneumonia. To prevent any case of Spanish flu, stay at home. That's not going to prevent it, but it'll help. Excuse me. Let's see who we can talk to.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised. But I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
Okay, so she has 3 hints.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr.
Most of
Swansea
them.
has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Ooh, new hint. I don't know if this is gonna tick her off or what. Let's see.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Yeah, I didn't think she would. Okay, so personal questions. All these are hints. Okay, so I need to gather some dirt
Goodbye,
on her.
nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Just a second. Okay, sorry. Just want to make sure the mouse is working correctly.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
You're kind of a bitch.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Oh, the
Already
5-year-old
making
in
the
me.
rounds. That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we
She was
provide
like
you a
looking
quiet office.
right at the
You'll find
camera,
it on the
so to
second
speak.
floor
It
with
was
your
kinda
name on the door.
Disarming. Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
I have a few.
I would like to ask a few questions first. And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
Okay.
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
So can't talk to her about any dirt. Let's see if there's other people to talk to. What the hell? Oh. Gwyneth Brannigan, Dr. Corcoran Tippets. Didn't we hear that name before?
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippets, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
Oh, you are exhausted. Oh, it's because I unlocked the hint.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No, we must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
Oh, okay.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
I was like, no, she's gonna get
Some are
chewed
really
out.
good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character
No,
traits.
I want to know everything negative.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
Yeah, which means she'll be like
I'll go even further.
the worst
If
one.
she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Gotta love that 19th century spirit. Or is it 18th? Or no, not. It says 20th in a book, but
Any
I think
opinion
this
about
is
the management?
1800s.
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
Well, that's how I met him. Oh, lots of hints required.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippets. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening,
I
Doctor.
have more tips about you.
Why does Dr. Tippets claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippets does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Okay. Wasn't exactly mind-breaking there, but
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
that Tippets. Yeah. Oh, who's this guy?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction,
Yeah,
Mr.
exactly.
Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job.
Oh, good.
Don't judge me,
So
and
you'll
I won't
sing
judge
like a
you.
canary.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Oh, okay, so he's a trader, exactly.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
Where did
You
he
keep people
learn
alive your
this?
own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since...
Where did he learn
too
he was
long, I guess.
smuggling guns?
I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing in. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You
Side
left
quest.
an infected patient outside the hospital. That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Yeah.
Since you're on the front line,
Midnight in the Garden
how
of
is the
Good and
sanitary
Evil.
situation
Good
in this
book.
vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
Okay, need a hint. Personal questions. Need all the hints. And let's trade.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Okay, so he's got Milton shotgun. No common parts. They're expensive though. Okay, leave you to it.
Perhaps I should have considered the offer from that Cadigan fella.
Are these guys... Okay. So are these guys over here? Or are they inside the building? They are, in fact, inside the building. Okay. Okay, not what I meant to do.
Never could keep anything from her.
I cannot enter.
I'm entering, so...
I'm all right.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest then.
I'll get him some painkillers.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
Yeah, as soon as you give me some dirt.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Okay, they didn't pay people. They paid people even less back then to teach than they do now.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
And you bet she killed her husband?
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Ew, snap.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged. I share your stupor.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
Looks like he tried to cut his own throat.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
See if I can... I don't want to
Good
like
evening,
hurt
Mr.
this
Goswick.
guy anymore,
I'm
but...
okay.
Oops.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
Did we already talk about that? I think we did.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
He's very downtrodden.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Okay.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Oh, and why are they arguing about your arm?
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it.
Not a whole lot of
I'm afraid we
full
are.
beds.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies.
Okay. Wow, lots of these are
Goodbye for now,
required hints.
Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Always knew the words to calm the children, Helen.
No, I guess it's pretty full in here. Unknown doctor.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Oh, snap. Dick.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get.
Yeah.
You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
He really hates me.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital, instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time, his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
What's a hint on him? Disapproves modern medicine methods. Okay. So I'm guessing this is the other doctor that they're arguing over this guy's stuff. I might just drink this guy's blood because he's kind of a dick.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
Temper. English. No reason to... No, doesn't mean...
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd.
Yeah, I kind of agree as well.
Thank you for your time.
All right, get out of my
We'll talk later.
sight. You're kind of a dickhead.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune.
Now, there's so many characters in this game already.
Thank you.
We've just
And
started.
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Let's go for it.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Snap.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed.
Okay.
I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me.
God, how
I
is
am
my character
honored to have the
compared to
opportunity to
everyone
work
else?
by your side.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to
No
learn.
reason to be rude.
I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
Cool.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need help with anything
It's
in
kind of like a
particular?
duh statement.
Yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
Another quest.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if
Finally,
not
some
treated correctly.
information.
I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
But I feel like
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Strickland is the better doctor because he's more willing to learn about his patients. pick up our haircuts. Excuse me. Pembroke Hospital, 2 of 2nd of November. Oh, hiccups. My dear children, sorry I did not write you before, but it hurts like hell. I just to write these few words on bloody paper. Don't worry, Daddy will go out of the hospital as soon as the doctor fixes his arm. In the meantime, if you need something, go see Mr. Chadwick at the construction site and tell him you are Harvey Fiddick's children. You remember Robert Chadwick, the big guy with the mustache who helped me repair the house doors last spring? Go see him and ask for a few bob, and he won't refuse to spare you a few. I'm sorry I can't work anymore for now, but we'll figure out something as soon as I'm out. Don't worry, everything will be fine as soon as Daddy's arm is strong again. As soon as the doctors have fixed my arm. I... ... Oh, yay, I can loot stuff from here.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
You seem worried about the safety of your family, and it's obviously the reason why your wound troubles you so much.
I cannot give up on my children now. They both need me living.
What about their mother, if I may ask?
She died in 1915 during one of the first Zeppelin raids. We never found her body.
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
Maybe she just bailed.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army, building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I'm suspecting
so
that
many
she
died during
left.
the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
Little bleeders. So how do
Goodbye
I
for now,
fix
Mr.
this
Fiddick.
situation?
I'll see you later.
Sweet girl. Reads me like a book.
I don't think I was supposed to be able to go into this room.
It's locked, all right.
Yeah. I don't think I was supposed to go in this room.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
I'm just seeing if there's... Oh, there's...
Thank you,
nothing here.
Nurse Crane.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
If you are going to lead this surgery, I'm trusting you to assume the consequences of your actions, whatever the result.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reed. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
I'm kind of...
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Do I have to choose who? Who does the surgery?
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research. Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Let's see if I've gotten any hints for these guys yet. No. Okay.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
I'm sure I'll, like, read something about his life. But you, on the other hand...
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I got a hint from you. But I guess it's not good enough.
Goodbye, Milton.
I should really be more observational when it comes to what I can do to around here.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance. Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
It sounds like he's not being honest.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir.
That's an interesting point of view.
No offense.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Fear and disgust on every street corner.
I cannot enter.
Who's this guy? Oh, it's the
Good evening,
doc-
Mr. Hampton.
yeah.
How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion make me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Boys?
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
He calls
Who
himself
leads
a
the
saint.
gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton?
Gee, I guess.
I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
So you're a pastor.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
So he doesn't know about the vampires.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really. But I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
Thirsty?
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
He's gonna be a vampire.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Let's see. Do you already? Who are you? Actually, before we get into it, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it here. And we will meet up again in the next episode. See you in a bit.